So in this video of drawing and breaking down poses, I've chose two more poses from Pinterest. And for these two poses, I wanted to show two poses with the head looking upward. And I'm going to draw those kind of like a little more details in those boxes to kind of show how to draw the face in those boxes when you're drawing them in those positions, like looking upwards. So for that, I'm starting out these a little bit different. So typically I would start out drawing the circle for the head, but because of the angles of the heads looking up, I'm doing it with the box shape. Now the box shape is the easiest way for practicing drawing the head, like looking at an angle. And the circle could be a good way, but I found the best way for me to practice when I was doing them were drawing the box shape. So I start out with the box shape, but I'm drawing the rest of the body typically, the way I normally do it in drawing my poses. But the box shape is the usual method for drawing those head tilts at an upward angle, or and also a down angle too. So right now I'm trying to figure out the position of the body, making the circle where the shoulder is, and I'm putting a circle where the knee is. I'm trying to measure out, how far the knee is to the body. And because, the shoulder is a little bit downward towards the head, it only looks like it's up more because I guess the shirt is there and the shirt is kind of blowing in the wind, making it seem like it's upwards, but the shoulder is actually a little bit lower, which is why I added that in there. So I drew that line in the bottom so I kind of had that base where I can start um, adding in the body parts too, because I wanted to have like an area where I can, put the weight down onto. That way I can kind of just draw things out and draw the objects and have them just lay onto something and give me a general idea of where the place is that she's sitting. So now I'm drawing out her leg, her calf, getting it down, adding in adding the foot. It's looking upwards, so the foot is, you see like kind of the bottom of the foot. So I'm adding in that bottom of her shoe area. I was going to make it feet, but I said, no, I just leave it. That's kind of like a shoe. Whether it was either going to be a shoe or like a box version of her foot, just to show that in 3D space, which I may do in some of my other tutorials. So I'm adding in their bottom area, extending it a little bit more, drawing in her arm, wrapping around her leg. So I wanted to draw her leg first to kind of get that in there before I start to have the arm move over towards it. So drawing the leg in. And since I know how far the leg is going to go because I drew that bottom line area where she's sitting, and I can add in the foot because I know the distance between how far the leg is to that line. So I'm adding in the rest of her arms. That's holding onto her leg. Drawing her hand. I'm adding in the rest of her leg that's going down. And that because I drew everything else, especially that knee. And when adding in that knee, it easily lets me place everything else because no matter where you put the knee at, as long as it's not too far from the body, depending on the reference you're going for or taking it from, you're automatically going to know where to place everything onto that knee. It's kind of like the target point. And I'm adding in the hand, erasing that leg. I know the fingers on this part is a little difficult because her fingers are kind of like gripping the other one, and it's like intertwined, and you kind of just have to flow with it. Do it the same way you've been doing before, drawing the cylinders for the fingers, and just go along with it, following what's in the reference. You see, I'm trying to look at it and trying to figure out where the fingers are going. You got one finger going down, the other one wrapped around. You got one finger coming out. You see, I'm just following the typical similar method I've been doing. You got the thumb on the back from the hand that's hidden behind on the other side. I'm just darkening some of the lines, just so I can kind of know where some things are placed. Now I'm going with the red pencil and I'm going to draw in the face. And when I'm drawing the face, I'm just following, the shape of the box. And in this case, I think the box is probably a little too long, or not too long, just a little bit too long. And which can easily be changed by just shortening the box. But in this case, it still works because shortening the box would be an easy fix. You see that I'm just following where the head is going. The eyes will go right on top of that line, because that line on the bottom will be kind of like the flat point, and then you're just making like a little arch to create that eye, because the head is tilted up. The eyebrows, drawing the nose in because you're seeing the bottom of the nose since the head is tilted upwards. You see the neckline where I kind of just make the circle go down, and then I just make like another arch up top to form the bottom of the chin. And getting the lips, and also the same way, since she's looking up, you can see the bottom of that top lip. The bottom lip is a little more hidden, or a little, the more up you look, the bigger the top lip is, and the less you really see of the bottom lip. So I'm just adding that in there, darkening some of the lines. And this is also that red pencil that I've used before that's hard to erase. Making the ears, since the head is tilted up, so the ears will be down below the nose area. Every once in a while, I'll use that pencil. It depends on what I'm doing, because the pencil is not erasable. It's pretty hard. That's why I use it for that particular. And I draw a lot of those different poses and stuff. So it's easier for me to draw it without erasing as much. And plus, when I'm drawing poses, I try not to erase. I leave all the mistakes in there. That way I can go back and adjust it later on, because you're just, it's practice. You're going through it. You're trying to figure things out. So there's no need to erase a whole lot, especially when you're in this phase. I'm starting it out the same way as before. I'm drawing that box shape. See, the head is looking up and to the side. Have that, darkening some of the lines. I guess I kind of would say that this is probably the same head tilt as that Frieren character. At least I think so. Or yeah, I think this probably is the same, similar looking up. I'm adding in the rib cage. Now for that, you can do a rib cage or a circle. It doesn't really make a difference as long as you can kind of rotate those angles and center lines. But for this, I just decided to use the rib cage. Adding in the waist area, adding in a circle for the shoulder. The shoulders angled down because of the perspective. Cylinder for the arm. Circle for the elbow. I guess I didn't really have to add a circle for the elbow. I could have just had the cylinder in there. Sometimes you don't have to add a circle for the elbow. I mean, it all depends on if you want to throw it in there or not. So a circle for the shoulder. Extending the arm out with a cylinder for the arm. And I'm adding in the forearm, getting that in there. Going all the way towards the head. Breaking it apart. That way I can add in the hand. And when I did this hand, I kind of just, because the hand is open, I didn't really do too many cylinders except for the thumb. And for the fingers, I kind of just drew them straight up. Because it's like open hand. Open hands are usually the easiest to do. So you kind of just do it real quick and you're done. The cylinders only usually come in when you start to do like the more complicated positioning of the fingers, when it's either a fist or whatever other things you have the hand do that's complex that you're trying to figure out. But as far as open hands go, I can just draw them straight out, little noodles. I was darkening up some of the lines, trying to make sure my eyes don't get too confusing looking at it. Now for this one, I decided to erase it just a little bit, just so you can kind of see the lines more with the red pencil. The pencil I'm using is it's like a Mitsubishi pencil. It has like a red and a blue side. And I've seen this in another video before, and I said, "Oh, it's a nice pencil." So I decided to use it myself, and it's a pretty good pencil. Just that you can't erase with it, so you have to make sure whatever you're drawing with it is pretty accurate, that you don't want to erase too much with. So I'm just adding in the eyes. You see, I'm adding the eyes right on top of that top line. It's flat on the bottom of it, and I'm just curving it up to make that eye, because you're looking up. When you look up, the bottom of your eye kind of gets a little flat. Now I'm adding in the cheek. You see the curve of the face. It kind of goes like right a little further in from the bottom of the box. I'm just following the lines. You see the ears always goes right in that center, a little further below the eye and right where the nose is. Doing the top of the head. Try to go all the way around. I'm trying to work it in there. You don't want to get too far above that box. Then we start that hair. The hair isn't, you see, just like in the picture, it's not going to be as much volume because she's looking up, so you're not going to see as much of the head or of the hair. And right now I'm working that top of the lip. As you can see, the further up you look, the bigger the top of the lip is. And since the mouth is a little bit open, you can just you see it a little bit more. And you see less of the bottom lip. And also you can do the lip also by just creating a straight line across. Well, there's a straight line across with the box, but you can have a straight line across, and then you kind of just draw the lip going up from that line, and the bottom lip on the bottom part of the line, like going straight. Yeah, like a little slight arch where the nose is up top. I'm drawing the neck. You see, I'm making like a little arch where the neck is, going up into the ear. And I'm completing the circle on the bottom. I'm adding in that part for the neck, going down. I'm adding in the other part of it, and I'm just darkening it up. As you can see, it's not too difficult to do heads like that, especially the ones that's tilting. So I'm just gonna finish it up and add in the rest of the guidelines. But if you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button, subscribe, comment for anything else you want to see. Take care.